Voting Donald Trump, baby. Voting Donald Trump, baby. Voting Donald Trump, baby. Trump 2024.
Okay, this one's for all the Swifties like me who are conservative. Look at this. Taylor Swift's endorsement turned more voters away from Kamala Harris than it did attract. I also think it's interesting that after she posted, hey, everyone get out and vote, do your research, that over 300,000 people visited the website. That doesn't mean that's how many people registered, but it is clear to me that Taylor Swift is finally understanding that her entire fan base isn't just liberal women who are going to be voting for Kamala Harris, and this proves it. Last week, I just posted a video saying how Kamala Harris and Taylor Swift's endorsement actually doesn't mean as much as you think it does. Celebrity endorsements mean nothing how they used to. It's not even going to move the needle if you ask me. And if you ask me, I think this is just motivating more Taylor Swift fans to start looking at the economy, look at your grocery bill, look how much your gas is, and realize Taylor Swift is still a billionaire. So do you really think that she has your best interest in mind? The answer is no. This is your sign to vote for Trump.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to talk about what seems to be a major backfire for Kamala Harris, okay? Because the mainstream little media was talking about how great it is that Kamala Harris had received the endorsement of Taylor Swift. Now, everybody knew that Taylor Swift was going to eventually endorse Kamala Harris. Everybody knew that was going to happen, okay? It wasn't about if, it was about when. And she decided to do it after the debate. And of course, the mainstream liberal media celebrated this as if it actually makes a difference.
Is Taylor Swift's endorsement of Vice President Kamala Harris for president boosting voter registration beyond Democrats' wildest dreams? Well, we know Taylor Swift made that endorsement Tuesday night already. Her post on Instagram has more than 10 million likes, and that went out to more than 284 million Instagram followers. The big news here is the direct referrals coming from that post to the voter registration site has now topped more than 330,000 visitors to that site. That was as of Wednesday at 2 p.m. And the site that she referred them to, vote.gov, says the referrals may hit 1 million by this weekend. This all according to the General Services Administration that runs the website.
Taylor Swift comes out right after in an obvious prepared endorsement. Your take on the impact and your take on the echo of it that it's got to be Kelsey too because Harris needs a big white dude to come out for her. I don't understand the second point, not on a race basis, but I don't know who cares about Kelsey. But Taylor Swift matters. Does she matter to you?
When she comes out the night of the debate, the immediate aftermath of it, as a young woman supporting this person that is on the verge of being the first female president in United States history, you have to surmise that it's probably an incredibly profound thing to have happened. There's a fan base that she has. The Swifties, they're going to gravitate to what she wants to do to some degree. Not so much Kelsey. He's his own man. He's going to do whatever he feels is right, and he's going to leave it. I know him personally. He's a good man, a good brother, but he thinks for himself. Nobody's going to think for him. But Taylor Swift is a different phenomenon. She's special. And she can definitely have an impact. There's a lot of conservatives out there, and as one of my conservative friends has told me over the years, he said, y'all do a lot of all of that other stuff on the independent side and on the liberal side. He says, us conservatives, we just go to the polls and vote. And we will see. But right now, it does not look good for Trump. Make no mistake.
Watch.
We admire Taylor Swift's music, but I don't think most Americans, whether they like her music or fans of hers or not, are going to be influenced by a billionaire celebrity who I think is fundamentally disconnected from the interests and the problems of most Americans. Look, when grocery prices go up by 20%, it hurts most Americans. It doesn't hurt Taylor Swift. When housing prices become unaffordable, it doesn't affect Taylor Swift or any other billionaire. It does affect middle-class Americans all over our country.
You don't know what affects her. You don't know about her money. How you talking about that? Shut up, JD. We were just talking about how Taylor Swift endorsing the Harris-Walz ticket is triggering Republicans. And it's a big deal, but it really is freaking them out.
Yeah. Well, because we have one of the biggest stars in the world on the Democratic side, and they have Chachi.
Right, but turns out it doesn't really make a difference. If anything, it actually hurts Kamala Harris, okay? And that's what we have to talk about here today as fans are backlashing against Taylor Swift for this endorsement of Kamala Harris because Taylor Swift is supporting a far-left social agenda that a lot of people in this country just simply can't get behind.
One, I think it's really interesting how you had that one long letter for all your fans already printed out 2 seconds after Kamala and Donald Trump had their debate, which only tells me you already had this written up before the debate, which also tells me that you did not have an open mind. Kamala lied to everyone on that stage, and those of us that know. Taylor, you are a billionaire. The rest of us are not. The rest of us are struggling. People can't afford homes. Some of us are losing our businesses. And if Harris gets into office, our economy is screwed. But I know that doesn't affect you because, you've got all that money, private planes. You just don't even live in that kind of world. So it really seems to me like the issue at hand here is LGBTQ rights and aborting babies. And neither one of those are affected under Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the right guy for the job. If the economy of the United States suffers, the whole world suffers, Taylor. And if the whole world suffers, there goes your job, your career, because nobody's going to be able to afford going to your concert.
I think after this post, Taylor Swift can potentially say goodbye to her stream of income coming from people who are actual Trump supporters. Taylor Swift posted a picture, her and her cat, saying that she's going to be voting for Kamala Harris. I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the 2024 presidential election. I'm voting for tagging Kamala Harris because she fights for their rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. I think she's a steady-handed, gifted leader, and I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we're led by calm, not chaos. I was so heartened and impressed by her selection of her running mate, Tim Walz, who has been standing up for the LGBTQ plus rights, IVF, and a woman's right to her own body for decades. Remember who this is, Taylor Swift. Remember the influence that she has. I have done my research and I've made my choice. Your research is all yours to do, and the choice is yours to make. I also want to say, especially the first-time voters, remember that in order to vote, you have to be registered. I also find it much easier to vote early. Remember, Taylor Swift, a lot of influence. I will link where to register and find early voting dates and info in my story. Love and hope, Taylor Swift. 2 things real quick. It is your vote, but yet I'm going to give you a link. You can go to my link and find where to vote. Interesting. Number 2, she's so impressed with Kamala Harris' selection of her running mate Tim Walz, and especially what he stands for. Because let's be honest, we don't have any bigger issues that we have to focus on in this country, do we?
So let's just talk about the fact that Taylor Swift just endorsed Kamala Harris. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty appalled by this, being a huge Swiftie myself, being a huge fan of her music, her talent, her hard work ethic, all the amazing things she's accomplished. I'll still be a Swiftie. I'm not gonna not be a Swiftie because I can still like someone and not agree with everything about that person. After all, we live in a free country, right? But I am quite appalled by her recent decision to endorse Kamala Harris, who literally supports the murder of innocent babies, among many other things that are against my personal convictions as a follower of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so you've seen that, you heard that. Now, apparently this endorsement from Taylor Swift is officially backfiring because, according to the New York Post, who is citing one of the mainstream liberal media's favorite polls, YouGov, they're saying that, listen, this endorsement is not attracting new voters for Kamala Harris. It's not making people more likely to vote for Kamala. Actually, it's making people less likely to vote for Kamala, right? So let's read here. It might not be such a love story after all. Taylor Swift's endorsement of Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, may turn more voters away than it attracts. A new post-debate poll from YouGov released Saturday found that 8% of voters said the pop star's nod is either somewhat or much more likely to convince them to cast their ballot for the Democrat. Yeah, so this is tiny, right? 8% is super tiny, especially compared to the whopping 20% that said they are somewhat or much less likely to vote for former President Donald Trump's opponent now that Swift has spoken. So 20% are saying that they are somewhat or much less likely to vote for Kamala Harris because of Taylor Swift's endorsement. Now, again, that's pretty fascinating, but it makes sense, okay, when you understand that a vast majority of Taylor Swift's music is her reminiscing over her bad decisions, right? Her talking about all the bad decisions that she's made throughout her life. And if you are a fan of Taylor Swift and you understand this, then you know that, okay, well, if Taylor Swift thinks that it's a good choice to vote for Kamala Harris, right, that's her decision, then it's probably a bad decision for me, right? Because Taylor Swift has made a lot of mistakes in her life, okay? She sings about it all the time. Now, me personally, I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift. I don't listen to her music today. But fun fact here, I did date a Swiftie in high school. So I am familiar with Taylor Swift's music, okay? And when that relationship ended, she hit me with the "We are never, ever, ever getting back together," that song, right? Yeah, but, you know, hey, at the end of the day, I ended up getting the last laugh, okay? So it is what it is, but I'm just saying, okay? I have listened to some of her music. I think that album was Red, okay? This was back in 2011, 2012, 2013, okay, I believe. So way back when, okay? But I haven't heard any of her music since then, okay? I wouldn't be familiar with her recent stuff. Most of the respondents, 66%, said Swift's endorsement made no difference of how they will vote in November, as it shouldn't, right? I don't know why anybody would be affected by what some celebrity says, right, in regards to who you should vote for, okay? Celebrity endorsements don't mean anything in 2024. You know, it's just a virtue signal. That's what it is. Quote, "I've done my research and I've made my choice," the Grammy-winning artist shared to an Instagram post with her 283 million followers shortly after Tuesday night's debate. Quote, "Your research is all yours to do and the choice is yours to make." Okay, well, if that's the case, then why you speak out then, right? Why'd you give an endorsement? Why'd you speak publicly? If it's just your choice, right? You shouldn't not have said anything. She called Harris a steady-handed, gifted leader who could lead with calm and not chaos. The majority, 32% of the online polls respondents, think the move will have a positive effect on Harris's campaign, while 27% said they don't think it'll have an effect either way. 41%, nearly 460 people, said the Shake It Off singer shouldn't speak publicly about politics. 38% said she should make public endorsements. 66% of the poll's participants said they are not Swifties, while 28% reported being a fan and 6% identify as a big fan. The majority of big fans were women and registered Democrats. Swift's endorsement led to a flood of traffic to the voter registration website, vote.gov, into Wednesday afternoon, according to reports. All right, so Taylor Swift, seems as if, maybe, just maybe, her endorsement will backfire, right? People are like, hey, Taylor Swift said that she supports Kamala. Well, I'm not going to, right? Because she makes bad decisions. Would make sense, right? It would make sense for voters to get that takeaway, right? To come to that conclusion. But I'm pretty sure she has pissed off a lot of Swifties that are for Trump, right? And this is why I think that, generally speaking, when you're in entertainment, you should probably stay out of politics, okay? But people like to dabble into politics. I don't know why, okay? Because if I was an entertainer, right, I would do the Drake thing, right? Drake doesn't really come out and dabble in politics, okay? Although he said that, you know, if he was to vote, he would vote for Trump. Not President Trump, but Tiana Trump. So I don't know. Maybe that is some subliminal messaging, right, going on there, right? I'm not entirely sure. But, you know, I don't understand why these celebrities, these singers want to get involved in politics. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. I don't think that anybody should be affected by this stuff either way, but who knows, okay? Maybe this could backfire. It seems like maybe it will, according to this poll. We'll see. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.